So, this is the Gamma2 Case. Now I've got a bit of a soft spot for it. It used to be a colossal gravy train, it's not anymore. Its days of glory have long since passed, just like manufacturing industries in Western countries. I mean, it does have some nice skins in it though. It's got the briefing is quite a nice skin, the Grim is quite a nice skin. I think the Weasel and the Directive are quite nice skins. The problem is, you've got the Petroglyphs are really shitty and ugly skins. Same goes to the Power Core. The Triarch's okay, but if you're gonna get an SG, like, fuck, buy an Aerial from, I forget which collection it's from, but it's a much better skin for a fraction of the price. If we go to the pink skins, the Airlock is horrible. How is that a pink skin? I have no idea. It commands a good price for an MP9. I've made plenty of money off it, but it's not a good skin. The Sid Mead is a bit average. The fuel injector's okay, but obviously the Tech 9's been nerfed now, so it's no longer. It used to be sort of the most profitable skin I'd get out of trade ups, and now it's not really worth anything. Now, if we go to the Covert skins, admittedly the roll cage is okay looking, but it's not super great. I've had some traumatic memories of it in the past, if you check out my earlier videos. And the Neon Revolution, I think, just looks like shit. So, all in all, it's a fairly average case, and if I open it, I'm pretty much guaranteed to get crap. Okay, so I did get a Weasel. It could have been much worse, except, yeah, it's battle scarred. Yeah, this is a really bad skin. So, I know I do sound a little bit down on this case, but the thing is, there's actually still plenty of good opportunities to make money, and in this video, I'm going to go through them. This is the trade-up guide to the Gamma2 Case. So, before I begin, I'm just going to mention that the CSGO market has lost quite a bit of value recently, and I'm fairly confident it's just a cyclical thing. It normally goes back up over the winter, or the hellish inferno of the summer that you get in my part of the world, which is why I'm going on holiday to Europe in a few weeks using trade-up money, which is exciting. But anyway, I'm expecting the prices of skins over the next few months to go up quite a bit, so if you're watching this video in a few months' time, the prices are almost certainly not going to be right. However, because it's arbitrage rather than a trading profit or something like that, it should still work just fine. It's just the prices will be different. So that's a disclaimer at the start. So the first trade up we're going to do is a stat track, a mil-spec trade up. You'll need 6 minimal wear skins and 4 factory new skins. For the minimal wear skins, you can use the Slipstream, the Ventilator, or the Scumbria. But with the factory new skins, you're basically limited to the Ventilator. But don't worry, the Ventilator is a very cheap skin, and it's very easy to get low float ventilators. You can also use Chroma 3 case skins instead, or even Shadow case skins as the factory new skins. They're just perfectly viable, but I thought it'd be a little bit too complicated to include it here. The minimal wear skins should come in at about 30 cents each, and the factory new skins should come in at about 60 cents each, and the total cost should be around $4.30. And yes, they just rounded off for convenience. And most importantly, you need to keep the average float below 0.07. Now, as I often point out, you can sort of optimize your profit margins by increasing the number of minimal wear skins in this and reducing the number of factory new skins. That is fairly easy to do with this particular trade up, because ventilators in particular often come in quite low floats, which makes it quite easy to find the right skins. But I decided to go for the 6:4 ratio just because I think it's a good yardstick of where it sort of stops becoming viable. So you really want to try and get 6:4 or better. As for what you can get, obviously the Weasel is the big win. The Directive is also quite nice. It is worth noting you will get the Directive in minimal wear. The way the Directive's float value works, you need an average float of about 0.01 to get a factory new one, which I think would be a viable way of making money if you can get the right ventilators, but I don't have the patience to do that, so I haven't included it. And the Triarchs sort of break even, you lose money on the Power Core and the Petroglyph, so it is skewed towards the Weasel, but overall it is a decent little money maker considering the amount you have to invest. So the next trade up is a stat track minimal wear restricted trade up. You'll be using Petroglyphs and Power Cores for both types of float for this trade up. You can use either of them interchangeably, although in my experience Petroglyphs are generally a little bit cheaper and they come in the right floats a little bit more easily, so I'd focus on them. I'd recommend using a 6:4 ratio of field tested and minimal wear skins. You can obviously get the number of field tested skins up if you want. I'd recommend trying to do that, but it will be viable at a 6:4 ratio. And the most important thing, as always, is you've got to keep the average float below 0.15. That's the ultimate law of doing this trade up. The field tested skin should come in at about 62 cents using buy orders on the Steam market. The minimal wear skin should come in at about $1.05, and the total cost rounded off for my convenience is about $7.50. Once again, that is approximate. It will fluctuate a little bit, but that's a decent approximation. So in terms of what you can get, it is a fairly narrow margin trade up, but it is also a guaranteed profit trade up, which is what's good about it. Obviously, if you get the number of field tested skins in the trade up to be more than 6, the profit will start going up quite quickly. But the Sid Mead is the big win, I suppose, of a whopping $1.50, and the fuel injector and the airlock both have small profits, but it is profitable. It is actually fairly reliable overall. It's just not a instant gravy train moneymaker. Sadly, the fuel injectors, because they've gone down 50% in price, you used to double your money on it, but it is still profitable. It's an okay trade up. This next trade up is a mixed trade up. It's 50-50 glove case, Gamma2 case. You'll need 5 StatTrak Factory New Nova Gillas and 5 StatTrak minimal wear petroglyphs or StatTrak minimal wear power cores. The average float needs to be below 0.07. You'll get a 50% chance of a skin from either collection, and all skins produced will be factory new, and it should cost you about $15. $15 using buy orders, that is. Now, I did want to quickly talk about the ratio involved here. The reason it's a 5:5 ratio is that, in my experience, it's very easy to get low float gillas, so that then makes it viable to get relatively high float petroglyphs and power cores and throw them in a trade up and rely on volume rather than maximizing the margin on each individual trade up. So feel absolutely free to minimize the number of gillas. I absolutely recommend it. It'll make the trade up more profitable as long as you keep that average float of 0.07. That's obviously the most important thing in the entire operation. But I found in the past, because factory new gillas come in a low float quite regularly, if you do a 5:5 ratio, you can do lots of these trade ups, which, just because there's more volume, you'll make more money overall. In terms of the rewards you get in this trade up, all these things are factory new, by the way. As you can see, Sid Mead, Fuel Injector are the big wins. Wasteland Princess, Mecha Industries are the losses. If you use a 5:5 ratio, all these skins have an equally likely chance of being the outcome, but if you can increase the number of Gamma2 Case skins in this trade up, not only will your profit margin increase, but you'll have a more likely chance of getting a Gamma2 Case skin, and as you can see, all of them are profitable. So, yeah, as I discussed earlier. Also, one final note, this trade up is completely viable to do in its non-StatTrak form, exactly how I've shown here. I didn't bother including it, I didn't think it was worthwhile, but if you've got, $5 rather than $15 to put into a trade up, just do that same trade up using non-StatTrak skins and it'll work just the same. So this brings us to our final trade up. It's the ubiquitous Covert Trade up that I end every one of these videos with so far. This trade up is a mixed trade up. I don't recommend doing Covert Trade ups using all Gamma2 Case skins. It's not profitable. Actually, there may be certain circumstances it is, but I still don't recommend it. I recommend combining it with other collections. In this case, I'm going to combine it with Falchion Case skins. So what I recommend is you use 4 factory new Nemesis skins from the Falchion collection at $4.20 each, and 6 minimal wear either airlock or fuel injectors at $1.90 each. The total cost should come to about $28, and you'll need to keep the average float below 0.07. In this trade up, you'll have a 6% chance of a Gamma2 Case skin and a 40% chance of a Falchion Case skin, which I'll make sure I point out when I go through the outcomes. So, in terms of what you can get, there's a 30% chance of either a Neon Revolution or a Roll Cage. If you get the Neon Revolution, you'll make $10. If you get the Roll Cage, you'll lose $10, so they very conveniently balance each other out. And there's a 20% chance of a Hyper Beast or an Aquamarine Revenge. If you get the Hyper Beast, you'll make $15. If you get the Aquamarine Revenge, you'll break even, so there's an overall profit. It is fairly marginal. I'd recommend using a trading site to get rid of any skin you get out of this trade up, because the margin is just really narrow otherwise. If you use a trading site, these are after Steam tax prices, Steam tax is 12%. If if you use a trading site, that tax goes down to 5%, suddenly your margin will increase quite a bit. And anyway, as always, it's time for me to put my money where my mouth is and try out these trade ups in game. Okay, so here we are on CSGO Exchange. I've got the trade ups in order of ascending value. So first of all, we've got the factory new mil-spec trade up. I'm using 2 Chroma 3K skins and a Shadow Case skin as factory new skins instead of a ventilator. It probably does make it slightly more profitable overall. Also, I've got the ratio down to 3 factory new, 7 minimal wear, so that also helps. As you can see, it's under 0.07. The next trade up is the minimal wear restricted trade up, which I believe I'm only using 3 minimal wear skins, so that's also going to be a bit more profitable than what I showed in the video. As you can see, it's under 0.15. I've actually done sort of the same thing with all the trade ups here. I've got 6 Gamma2 skins to 4 factory new glove skins here as well for the factory new restricted trade up. As you can see, it's under 0.07. So yeah, I'm just maximizing the profit because I'm greedy. I want to try and make as much money out of this as possible, assuming I don't get destroyed by Galen. That can happen. And finally, we have the Covert Trade up, which as you can see is under 0.07 by a hair's breadth. Once again, I've got 7 minimal wear Gamma2 skins and only 3 factory new Falchion skins. So I hope I don't get that. It's going to be exciting. But anyway, I'll see you guys in game. Okay, so here we are in CSGO. Let's get straight into it. First trade up. This one is kind of interesting, to be honest. There's a lot of interesting things you can get. And some shitty ones, like you know, the Petroglyph or the Power Core. Hopefully I won't get one of those, but I think it's well deserving of having the name of received good box kind of covered up. You know, could be a weasel. That'd be nice. Let's see what I get. That is not a Glock Weasel, that is a Petroglyph. Not the best start. Also, I need to make sure I don't accidentally use it in this next trade up or the one after that. I did that accidentally with a special delivery in my Shadow Case trade up, and that was trade up video, and that was a bit awkward. But anyway, so on this one with a cross. Since you can't actually lose money doing this trade up, there's no real point crossing that out. No real suspense whatsoever, but oh well, gotta do something while this thing goes. And we got an airlock, which is lame, but so is everything else in that trade up, so it doesn't really make any difference. Right, trade up number 3. This one is a bit more interesting. Hopefully it'll go okay. I'm just checking to make sure I'm using the right skins. Hopefully it won't be a Wasteland Rebel or a Mecha Industries. Those are the shitty outcomes, but the odds are in my favour. Hopefully it'll work out. Okay, so another airlock. That's a profit. I'm at sort of break even at this point, so it all comes down to the Covert Trade up. Guess that's suspense in a roundabout way. Very bad memories of getting roll cages in the past. Hopefully it won't get repeated, and I've got no time to cross it out. Shit, should have thought about that. Hope I can get there. Fuck yes! Okay, Neon Revolution. Fucking sweet. Okay, that puts me back in the black. I'm happy with that. Okay. Anyway, I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. Out.